He's a disciple of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. He's serving as a Tampa Temple President for many years, more than I think 6-7 years. So and he's serving the congregation there in various capacities. Like he does youth preaching, he conducts bhakti vrikshas, and he's also very much expert in training the kids also. So he likes to train them also. So we're very happy that he's here today with us. So please let us welcome Prabhuji with enthusiastically chanting Hari Bo. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You're talking about the kids, but the kids left, like maybe they're scared of me. That's the proof lies in the pudding, right? The taste, right?
Maybe they want to have a
Yeah, I think they will.
session.
No, they'll like it. I'll try my best to serve them also. If they can, it's not like a monologue that I'll just keep speaking. So we'll work in teams or partners so that we all can share, because the knowledge, when we reiterate, it really goes deeper in our heart and consciousness. So if they feel comfortable and if they don't feel scared, I don't bite, they can come. They're coming? Okay. Yeah. So I am, first of all, like overwhelmed with joy and gratitude that to all the devotees, especially Sundarachal Prabhu and his good wife Gopi Jana, Priya Mataji, and Vishnu and Kavya. Right? Thank you so much for opening the doors of your home and heart for all of us, and to give us this chance to be present and get an opportunity to remember Krishna, to remember and hear about the name, form, qualities of Lord. Right? Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. And to all the devotees who, I know Saturday is busy, everyone has so many things, go to Costco, go to and go to, maybe some children have exams and things like that. And we all have so many classes, programs, things. But all of you took your most valuable time to come on a Saturday evening and bless, and that too at a very short notice, I believe. I mean, we were just talking in the morning, and like I mean, to the point I came to the doorstep, I didn't know that there's a program that actually I thought just we are meeting, him and his family. I didn't know that like 20 more devotees will be coming. So more the merrier, but I didn't want, like a surprise notice for. So, but again, it's my great fortune, and thank you, all of you, for coming and taking your most valuable time. So, and special gratitude to all the young Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. What's your name? Keshav. It's Keshav. What's yours? Aradhya. You can come closer with your friends. Yes. And please tell me, at least the young devotees will tell their name. And next to Aradhya? Vidika. Wow. And behind? Kavya. Okay, Vishnu and Kavya. Yes. And Adya. So Vishnu, Krishna Chaitanya, Ramacharya. Yes. What's your good name? Akshita. And next to Ramcharan Prabhu? Anirudh. Thank you. All of you are deserve like million times more, my prostrated obeisance, because you're all so young, enthusiastic, and at such a young age, as Prabhupada says, as Prahlad Maharaj says, at such a young age, you are putting Vaishnav Tilak, chanting the holy names, reading Bhagavad Gita. I mean, this is unimaginable. This is so wonderful. Prabhupada must be so happy. Prabhupada must be so blissful that the young soul, the young Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis are taking so seriously the process of bhakti, who will be the torch bearers of this divine movement of Lord Chaitanya. So thank you. So special gratitude to all the. Is it not, right? How is everyone feeling today? Please tell to your neighbor in 2 words or few words, how are you feeling today? Or his Vashishika Prabhu says, encourage the heck out of everyone, right? So you have to encourage your neighbor, okay? By sharing something positive about them, by giving a positive reflection, a token of gratitude or anything, okay? So we'll all do with our neighbor. My neighbor is Prabhuji, okay? Okay. Is everyone ready? Okay, we have a bell here, okay? So what you have 30 seconds for one A to B and 30 seconds for B to A, okay? 2 people. Time starts now.
Thank you very much for coming here and sharing your wisdom and passion. Especially, I like the bond and the taking spiritual shelter. I want to work on taking spiritual shelter more and more.
Thank you, Prabhu. You are so humble. Just by seeing you, your simplicity, your demeanor, I feel so encouraged. Like just I'm feeling like a close, elder brother meeting after a long time. Thank you for your association, Prabhu. I'm so blessed.
Thank you. Krishna,
Thank you. Okay, how is everyone feeling? Depressed? Encouraged, right? Do you feel happy? Do you see a big smile on your neighbor's face? Right? This is the power of bhakti, right? Encourage the heck out of everyone because we all need enthusiasm. We all need appreciation. We all need to inspire because outside world, Maya is so strong. Who is going to encourage us in the path of bhakti, right? We all need to encourage each other, right? Like the young devotees are so nicely playing mridanga, harmonium, singing. Isn't it so beautiful, right? So we have assembled here today. I thought of one topic, right, about feedback, right? So when we hear this word feedback, and this is inspired by His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhu, he wrote this in one of his recent BTG articles, and he has put that in one of his recent books also, called Secrets of Bhakti. And those of you get the BTG magazine, it was in the last BTG article also. So I made some presentation and shared this with the young students, which they really liked. And I thought that it might be helpful. And the more we learn about this, it's going to be very, very helpful in our Krishna conscious journey, because we all may be in this at some point, getting feedback, right? Or giving feedback, or not wanting to get, but still get. How many of you have faced that, right? Right? Krishna Katha, Vaishnavas are very purifying. But it's a very interesting topic, right? So shall we discuss that today? Yes or yes?
Yes,
Okay. How about Kavya? You agree with the plan? Okay. I'm sure most of you will like it or your money back from today's sessions. Is it okay? Everyone okay? You can loudly say Haribo! Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusate Devi Pranamami Hare Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripasindubhyaeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashat Veshatarani Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Rama Hare Hare Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Before I begin, I want to seek all of your blessings and prayers, because it's very easy to talk big things, but to internalize them and follow in our lives, and even to speak, actually, we need blessings of Vaishnavas. So I humbly bow down at your lotus feet. So as your younger brother, friend, well-wisher, whatever aspect you see me, please give your blessings so that the right words to glorify Guru Sadhu Shastra can come for our benefit, and we can take lessons and inspirations from today's discussion. Hare Krishna. The process of Krishna consciousness is so beautiful and wonderful, and especially the hearing of Krishna consciousness, that means the Shravanam. There are so many countless verses in the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam which glorify the process of hearing. In particular, I would like to take this verse which talks about how hearing in the Sangha of devotees really helps us to not just gain knowledge about Krishna, not just advance in bhakti, but also develop very harmonious, cordial relationships. Parasparanukathanam pavanam bhagavatyasha mithorati mithotushti nivritta mitha atmanaha. When we hear Parasparanukathanam, when we come together and discuss the process of bhakti, when we discuss about the name, form, qualities of the Supreme Lord, or anything in relation to that, as you were talking this morning, anything in relation to Krishna becomes very, very glorious. And it helps us to develop rati. It helps us to tushti. We develop great satisfaction by hearing Krishna Katha, because that's the real nectar for the soul, which the soul is always eternally looking for. And what also happens? We develop mutual, cordial relationships. When we serve together, when we hear together, when we, how many of you have felt that when we are serving or dancing together or serving in the kitchen or doing any Krishna conscious activity with devotees, it helps us to bring us together, right? Anyone has faced that, right? We all have experienced that, right? Whether it's the kids, doing some kids class together or dancing together, it is so joyful. Satam prasange mama virya samvido grinanti hritkarna rasayana katha tajjoshanad apavarga vartamani shraddha ratir bhaktir anukramashati. When we hear in the Sangha, Satam prasange, in the intense association of like-minded devotees, all the impurities are certainly gone. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu. But what comes? All the divine good qualities come. Shraddha, faith, rati, attachment to Krishna, and bhakti. The pure divine love towards Krishna will certainly rekindle in the heart of a devotee. Just by the mere, it is so simple. It may seem so simple. Just by simply hearing Krishna Katha, yes, it is so simple. A, B, C, D, E, right? The B is for Bhagavatam. In Shravanam, in the first and foremost limb amongst the 9 limbs is Shravanam. So let's try to absorb. Today, we have the right environment, very safe, comfortable environment. We have the right Shastra, and we have the right Guru Parampara. We are also blessed to be in this wonderful Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara, right? So even if the transmitter has so many shortcomings, but our connection is strong, right? So ignore the shortcomings of the transmitter, but the connection is pure. There is no if and but there, right? It is coming from the divine lotus feet, divine mouth of the Supreme Lord. So today we're going to talk about the feedback. Okay? It's a very interesting topic. Why is feedback important? How many of you have received feedback at some point? Generally, when we talk about feedback, what comes to our mind? Good feedback or constructive or not so healthy feedback? Like 1 or 2? But generally it comes like the second one, right? Right? Is that correct? And then, oh, I have something to share with you. I have a feedback for you. I want to talk to you maybe one-on-one. Right? So we'll talk about it, that how is it important? Why is it important? We'll talk about the qualities required for feedback, right? The one who is giving feedback and the one who is receiving feedback, right? In any communication, there are 2 people, right? The giver and the receiver. Both need to have some qualities, right? Because if we keep on giving feedback to any Tom, Dick, and Harry, guess what? We're only going to develop more enemies in our life. We don't want that. Prabhuji's, right? You relate to that? And then there are 4 combinations we're going to talk about. And then we'll take multiple stories. All of you are so learned, you've read so many Shastras. We're going to talk about the 4 combinations and some stories which talk about those combinations. And finally, we'll conclude and see how we can gradually progress towards the ideal journey, right? Okay, so everyone, now it's time to engage and get up. So feedback, whenever the word feedback comes, what comes to your mind? You can raise your hand and quickly share so we can collect some thoughts. What comes to your mind immediately when you hear the word feedback? Yes, yes. Negative feedback, okay. Area for improvement, okay, yes. What someone thinks about what you said, okay, good, interesting. Anyone else? Yes, Prabhu?
What the other person is trying to say about me.
What the other person is trying to say or think about me, okay. What else? Yes. Some suggestions, okay. What else?
Us to improve.
Oh, it helps us to improve. Very nice. Very nice. See, these are the different paradigms, right? We all have our outlook towards feedback. What else? For the kids, how many of you have received feedback from your parents? Anyone? Right? I mean, that's a good thing, actually, right? It's a, that we have someone who cares for us, someone who's there to help us to bring out the best, right? Feedback is actually a gift. It's an opportunity to bring out the best in us. Because if we walk around and thinking I'm the best and whatever I'm going to do is going to be the right, that's very full of ego, right? Is it not? My way or highway, that's Ravana mentality, right? But what do the pure, the great souls think? I live to be correct, work in progress, right? I'm not perfect. I'm a sadhaka. I'm struggling. I have some shortcomings, right? See, one who is aware of their shortcomings is much better, like it's an enemy is there and I'm aware. But someone who thinks I know everything and whatever I'm thinking or doing is best, it's a much bigger problem because their enemy is hidden. Because we all are work in progress. I'm talking about myself. We are sadhakas. We're trying to practice the path of bhakti. So feedback helps to promote self-awareness, is it not? Feedback helps us to identify our blind spots, right? In the car, we have that blind spot mirror, right? It's so critical sometimes. It helps us to avoid accidents, right? So this feedback also, when we are aware that, I have certain propensities, so I need to be careful. Someone could be like, okay, I get a little angry fast. I need to be careful about my blind spot. For someone, it could be, oh, I'm speaking sometimes which I should not be speaking. It's my blind spot, right? So we all could have different blind spots and we could be blinded about it, right? But the feedback will help us, right? So help us to bring out the best, promotes growth, strengthens relationships. We'll talk about that too. How good feedback, the 4 different categories of feedback will help us to even strengthen relationship, right? How many of you have genuinely received feedback from your worshipable teacher, Diksha Guru, Shiksha Guru, and then you felt so happy about it, right? That I'm so grateful that they gave me this feedback, right? Otherwise, I would be, going in the wrong direction. So with this in the background, we'll talk about the 4 categories of feedback, right? So there are basically 2 people, right? The one who's the giver and one is the receiver. So sometimes the giver could be good and the receiver could also be genuine, right? Both are good, right? Both have good intentions, but many times it's not. The feedback giver could be good, have good intentions, but the receiver, don't dare say me anything. I know what I'm doing. I know what's right. And to hell with your feedback. Get out, right? And we'll discuss some examples too. Sometimes the receiver could be humble, genuine, but the person giving it could not have bad intention. So could have bad intention. They could not be a genuine well-wisher. And sometimes neither the receiver has, neither the giver has, and to, God save that situation. Okay, so let's talk about some, the first category of, can anyone think of an example from the scriptures, any scripture, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, where both had good intentions, the giver and the receiver. The giver wanted to help and the receiver was humbly receiving it. Anyone can think of examples? Yes? Mrigari and Narad Muni. Okay, good, thoughtful example. Yes? Krishna and Arjuna. Very nice, very good. You're so intelligent. Wonderful. Yes, Prabhu?
Shukdev Goswami instructing Maharaj Parikshit.
Yes, Shukdev Goswami and Parikshit, the ideal speaker, the ideal receiver. Wonderful. More specific, like what was the feedback? Like where are you referring where he gave feedback? Like a little bit, can anyone specific mention like instances or where? Yes? Wonderful. Swayambhu Manu and Prithu Maharaj, and we'll talk about that story. It's in there. Okay. So I think we're all getting the point that there are sometimes very good, ideal teacher, ideal student. Krishna and Arjuna, ideals, guru, ideal disciple, right? And interesting to note, Krishna didn't give any feedback in chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita. Is it not? Chapter 1, Senayor Ubayor Madhye Ratam Sthapitam Yochita. Oh, driver, please take my chariot in the middle of the 2 armies. I want to do Nirikshan. Who all have come? Okay. Yes, boss. Dun, 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 dun. Here is your grandfather. Here is your teacher. Right? See them. No feedback. Is it not? Until he was ready. Until 2.7, where he took shelter. So the scriptures are teaching us so many lessons in chapter 1, right? So one lesson is don't give feedback, don't, in chapter 1, don't give, unsolicited advices or feedback. When there is no good relationship, the best advice will be considered bad, right? When there is no healthy relationship, right? It's like you have no, they say the emotional bank account. It's like no deposits are there and you're withdrawing. Like feedback is considered as withdrawal, right? So we have to put some deposits first in the account to withdraw something. Otherwise, the relationship is bankrupt and, it will lead to problems. So the genuine, receiver is good. Sometimes the mistakes are also not, a genuine receiver does not do intentional mistakes. They are unintentional. They are accidental, as mentioned in the 9.31, right? Api cheta suduracharo bhajate mamananya bhak sadhureva samantavya samyak vyavastito hi sa. Mistakes do happen from great souls too, but they are not intentional. They are unplanned. They are accidentals. As Prabhupada says, accidents happen on the royal roads too, but they are not planned. We don't want to make mistakes, right? That's a blunder, like intentionally plotting a mistake or plotting some political or diplomatic thing, right? So the receiver is open to receiving feedback, respects and accepts it gratefully, does not justify. Very, very important quality. Sometimes, the person who does not have this, the moment someone gives the feedback, they have a wall. No. How I am right, I'm going to prove in 10 different ways. Prabhu, what you are saying is actually wrong. The next time, let's say Krishna Prabhu is giving me a genuine feedback that Prabhu, you should not use mobile phones while driving. I observed you and he's giving, but I am justifying how I am right. Next time, will he give me feedback? No. A good teacher will not feel like, right? Because there is a wall, right? The wall of justification, the wall of self-defense, right? And the giver is a genuine well-wisher, selfless, unmotivated, right? Like a guru, like a parent, a teacher, honest desire to help, not desiring to pick out the dirt in them. Hey, you have this problem. Hey, you have that problem. And I am better than you. Envious people take pride in pulling others down by pointing their mistakes and to prove, oh, no, I have better. My shirt is better. My kurta is better. My tilak is better. My this is better because I am the best. Like Duryodhana mentality. But genuine receiver does not give feedback to prove that he is better, but to honestly, right, genuinely desiring to help with only selfless, unmotivated intentions. And as Mataji shared the example of story of Dhruva, all of you may be already aware of this story. So long story short, Uttama, Dhruva's brother, was killed by the Yakshas because there's a long story how Dhruva was not allowed. This all happened when Dhruva came back and he was ruling. So Dhruva's brother was killed by the Yakshas and Dhruva attacked their kingdom, Alkapuri. And it was a fierce battle, right? A very, very fierce battle. All these followers of Kuvera and, so let's read some verses from the Bhagavatam. Maybe the kids can read. Who will want to read? Anyone wants to read loud and clear? Feeling inspired to read? Okay, 1, 7, 8, 9. Who else wants to read? Okay, let's read these three first. Yes. So just to give a context, Manu is the grandfather, Swambhu Manu. Now the fierce battle is going on and Dhruva is mercilessly killing not just a few people who had killed his brother, but now he is like mercilessly like wholesale killing, right? So that's the context. Now you can read, please. 7th verse, yeah.
Please stop. It is not good to become unnecessarily mean. It is a path to hellish way. Now you are going beyond the limit by killing the officers who are actually not offenders. Yes,
so now you're crossing the limits. Dhruva, being a pure devotee, met the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Swambhu Manu, being, the grandfather of Dhruva, both are exalted devotees. Now, Swambhu Manu is giving a feedback that too much anger, Trividhan Narakasya Dvam Dwaram Nashnam Atmana Kama Krodha Tatha Lobhas Tasmaditam Triyam. These are the doors to hell. So even great personalities can sometimes be afflicted by this. Yes, text. Next. I think Aradhana, Arun, Akshita, sorry. Yes.
you have undertaken is not at all approved by other ways, and it does not benefit our family, which is supposed to know the laws of religion and their religion.
Very nice. Yes, next.
Your son, Advent, prove that you are very much affectionate towards your brother and are greatly aggressive at his being killed by the Yakshas. But consider the once Yaksha's offense, they have killed many others who are in this.
Hmm. So because of the offense of one, is it justified to kill like million people? No, certainly not. So that's the context we are seeing here. Swayambhu Manu had to intervene. We see so many times in the Srimad Bhagavatam, a great person like, the battle between this, the Indra stealing the horse, Brahmaji had to intervene. So many times we see a superior person has to intervene, right, to help the situation. So here, Swayambhu Manu intervened, and he's saying so many verses that it is very hard to achieve the Supreme Lord if you show this, ruthless anger. It's not required, right? And you are a pure devotee, text 12. You're a pure devotee, always thinking of Lord. But accidental, circumstantial, unplanned mistakes do happen. So the Lord is satisfied with his devotee when the devotee greets other people with tolerance, mercy, friendship, and equality. Such beautiful points. That's what pleases the Lord. When we greet others with tolerance, mercy, equality, and friendship. And guess what happens after this further? Then finally Dhruva understands that yes, he was, he was not defensive. No. What I'm doing is right. You know how they killed my brother. He didn't try to justify. I'm just going tit for tat. I'm just doing, they deserve this. This is their karma and this and that, right? He said, no. So Swayambhu Manu said, please stop. Even Kuvera, right, the Lord Shiva's brother Kuvera will not be happy with this situation. If you're trying to be disrespectful. So in short, it's not going to do good for you, do good for them, or good for the whole situation is going to spoil. So please stop, please stop. And Dhruva immediately heard, he received feedback, he applied feedback, and then he transformed. He stopped. Okay, no more battle. Okay, done. Ho gaya. Right? And Dhruva returned back to his capital, and Kubera was fine. Dhruva remembering Supreme Law. So perfect example. Very, very nice example. And there are many, many others also, right? Here we see the great Sri Vyasadeva, the literary incarnation of the Supreme Lord, wrote so many scriptures, the Puranas, the Upanishads, etc., the Vedas. Still, he was not fully happy. And who came to give him the feedback? Narad Muni. See, Narad Muni is so unique. He gave feedback to so many people as per so many time, place, situation, right? But in this case, he was very direct because the audience, the person was very ripe. He didn't go indirectly, hellish planets like Mrigari's story and stuff. He said, hey, you have confused people about the real goal of life. Somewhere you're saying this worship is great. Somewhere you're saying Kali Puja, this Puja, meat eating, that's complicated. So many Vedas, so many where people anyways, Kali Yuga, Manda Sumanda Madhya, they have no time, no inclination, no memory, no desire. And then on top of that, you have confused people. This is best, this is best. What will people do? Get to the point, right? People are blessed. Time, right? So he wrote the Nigama Kalpatarur Galitam Phalam, the ripened fruit of all the Vedic scriptures, Srimad Bhagavatam, unalloyed, unparalleled glories of the Supreme Lord. And then the author, this Vyasadeva, the compiler, was very happy when he wrote about the unalloyed. So immediately received that feedback. No. Oh, consider, let's get into the Leela. Let's get into the Leela, right? If we write a big report for the company or for even, ISKCON or anything, like you did like 6 months of hard work, to do a big project. And then our superior, it could be guru, teacher, manager, parent, etc. This is bogus. You have spent 6 months to write a 600-page report. You have to write just a 6-page report and get to the essence, redo. That's what exactly happened, right? Is it not? If we go into, how will we feel? How will we feel? Right? Immediately the layer, hey, at least look at my work. At least appreciate me. I've done so much hard work, right? Will we not say that? Right? Will we not feel defensive? Will we not say, hey, who are you? I'll change my guru. Huh? You are not understanding my situation. Right? No. He gratefully received it. Right? Because when we get into the pastime, we feel that a lot more, right? So Vyasadeva completely, Karishyasi vachanam tava, right? Arjuna also said, I will do what you say. Prabhupada said, well, so many times, a disciple says to the guru, yes, sir, like military discipline, right? Your order is my life and soul. I'll do what you say. Not because you are the seer, right? The guru is the seer. The guru knows what's best. The parent knows. Sometimes the child may not think, we may not understand the instructions of guru or the parent. Why are they seeing? It seems irrational, illogical, etc. But we need to have that faith that they are my genuine well-wishers. All they want is every parent, every guru, what do they want? That their child, their disciple, becomes even better than me. Is it not, for those of you parents or those of you helping someone? Don't we want that? That my student or my son, daughter becomes much, much higher in every capacity, especially bhakti, right? So we have to understand that yes, they are my genuine well-wishers. So sometimes, rather than being defensive or offensive, if I receive it, I'm actually getting into the real mercy of Guru. If I really want real mercy of Guru, that will come, that is called Nishkapat Kripa. If the Guru is always, oh, you did great service, Prabhu. Oh, wow, your kirtan is so amazing. The hair stand on it. Because the mind wants that only. Appreciate my kirtan, appreciate my class, appreciate my effort. The mind does not want feedback. The mind does not want to, but when we start receiving, actually, even in ISKCON, it's very hard to get Nishkapat Kripa. Nishkapat Kripa is the real chastisement, actually. But who wants chastisement from Guru? We may see, we may want, we may say like that, but actually the heart is not ready. I was with one very senior Vaishnava, all of you may know him, but I'll not share his name. He said, and I've seen that in my personal experiences too. 99 times you say Hari Bol, one time you forget, they'll get angry. One time, Prabhuji, I brought a glass of water for you, you didn't say Hari Bol to me. It happens in life. This is practical experience, right? What to speak of giving a constructive feedback? There is no room for that because, right? Because the mind wants Hari Bol, all glories to you, all glories to you. The mind wants that. And the moment someone shares, Prabhu, and it actually, the one who is giving us constructive feedback is our real Guru, because he's helping us to unveil those blind spots. The one who is just glorifying us continuously. I'm not saying glorification is not, there's a balance and there's a place for everything, right? Glorification should be done. Appreciation, encouragement should be done. It's healthy if done in a right way, in the right intention, with a healthy balance of the right things also. So Vyasadeva and Narad Muni. So good examples. We discussed two, right? There are more examples, but in the interest of time, we'll move to the good, bad. Okay. Now the receiver is full of pride, and the giver is genuine and honest. Any examples ringing in your mind from the Shastras? The receiver is not proper, but the giver is genuine. Yes, Prabhu.
Maybe when Krishna to the place to walk.
Very nice. Yes, as a peace messenger, as Shanti Doot, yeah. He said, hey, catch him. Who is this milkman? Right? Yeah. Very nice example. Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, Mataji.
That when it comes to telling him that I have given, I made your sons few devotees. So you also take a few devotion service and he doesn't listen.
Yes, yes. Vidura and yeah, classic example. Vidura and Dhritarashtra, or Vidura and Duryodhana. Very nice examples. Wonderful. So yes. Yeah, your Prahlad Maharaj and Hiranyakashipu, very nice. He said, hey, you Asurvarya, oh, the best of the demons, take to devotional service. He said, kill him. He was genuinely saying the truth. Oh, best of the demons, my great father. Yeah. Vanam Gato. Sanjay and Dhritarashtra, very nice. All these are, very nice examples. So pride, greed, selfishness makes one miss the opportunity to elevate one's consciousness, right? In response to a well-wisher's good advice. His Grace Vishishika Prabhu says this, I live to be corrected. We are work in progress. We are not perfect. I'm talking about myself, right? There is room for improvement. When the glass is always full, there is no room for, addition. There's no room for something to enter. When the heart, when the consciousness is puffed up with ego, pride, it blinds us. There are 4 kinds of blind people. Nevam pashyati janmandha kamandha eva na pashyati arthi dosham na pashyati madon matta na pashyati. As per the Niti Shastra, there are 4 kinds of blind people, and one of them is blinded by pride. So pride makes us blind. Let's see some examples how we see. Again, this is the example of Anga and Vena, right? But we'll discuss more examples like Ravana, and who all gave him advice. There were tons of people who gave him advice, right? His brother, Vibhishana, who was a great devotee, his wife, Mandodari, gave advice. Even Kumbhakarna said, I'm telling you, I'll fight with you, but better still. But blinded by pride. My way or highway, you help me or get out. He kicked out Vibhishana, who was his genuine well-wisher. If he would have just heard the advice of Vibhishana, everything would have been nice and kind. He would have the kingdom. He had already tons of wives, kingdom, palace, golden Lanka. He had everything. But pride, leads to degradation, blinded. So Vibhishana warned, Mandodari warned, selfishness makes one shameless. In this case, the Prabhupada mentions this in chapter 1 of the Gita, that Dhritarashtra was not just blinded from birth, he was spiritually blind, or blinded to see the things in the correct perspective. Because of spiritual blindness, because of attachment to the sons. People told him, so many nice people told him, hey, this guy, your son, the eldest one, Duryodhana, you get rid of him. You will be fine. Your 99 will be fine. Better, like for the society, if one person is bad, get rid of him. At least 99 will flourish. But attachment, he didn't hear. And he was plotting atrocities to Pandavas. He was like Shanti. When it is said, Maunam Sammiti Lakshanam. When bad is happening, and if I'm silent, I'm like supporting that bad in one way. Maunam Sammiti Lakshanam. It's a sign of approval, right? And that's what happened to the Uttama story also. The father didn't say when this wife was telling harsh words to Dhruva, father was okay, silent, henpecked husband, what to do? So he kind of supported that wrong act. So Akrura advised, so many people advised him. And this comes in 10.49.27. Dhritarashtra said, because my unsteady heart is prejudiced by affection for my sons, though these pleasing words, Akrura's words, of yours cannot remain fixed, just as the lightning cannot remain fixed in a cloud. So all the atrocities, disturbing Draupadi, gambling, and usurping kingdom, everything, Dhritarashtra was blinded to that. So many people gave. Vidura gave good advice, Sanjaya gave good advice, but didn't work. Why? Pride. Pride leads to being blind to the good. Vidura also advised, right? You're maintaining this offense personified Duryodhana, right? This is going to lead to relieve yourself of this ill fortune. Great souls can tell past, present, and future. Vidura, being Yamaraj himself, knows past, present, and help everyone, help yourself. But finally, Duryodhana insulted, hey, you are like a dog, get out of here. And then, right? I mean, it's such a abusive language to say to one's uncle, who's respectable, who's a devotee, right? And at that time, Dhritarashtra didn't say, hey, how dare you say this to your uncle? Like if a small child, if our son, daughter says this something to an elder, will we just stay quiet? We'll take some needful action, right? But Dhritarashtra, quiet. And that promoted more ugly behavior in Duryodhana, right? And finally, the battle happened. Finally, all the sons were killed. So very, very beautiful nuggets here. Unfortunate are those who do not have access to worthy advice, right? Or good feedback, constructive feedback. They're very unfortunate. So let's ask, this is an internal question. How many people I have in my life who are there to give me, do I have at least one or two people whom I have that close connection, whom I open my heart, whom I open my everything and tell not just the good things I'm doing, but the weaknesses? Do I share that with my spiritual doctor, with my Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru, whatever situation? It's an internal reflection. You don't need to raise hands or anything, but something to internally reflect upon. At least we should have someone close who knows us in and out. Because we may meet someone, not going in the... And let's say we meet our worshipable and Diksha Guru, maybe are meeting once in a year or once in few years, and we're just sharing something good. Then still we may not get that close advice, which is required for us. So we can have someone. If we don't have, then maybe that's a take home from today's session, to develop that connection with someone who is capable to help, who is available to help, and who has the genuine selfless desire to help, right? They are not going to help because envy, this, that, or they want money, or this. Selfless, pure intention. We only want our good. That's basically Shiksha Guru, mentor, counselor, special friend, Diksha Guru, whatever you may call, like a teacher. For students, it could be parents, right? When I ask students who are that person in your life, everyone said their mother or father. Someone said their teacher. So this is something to reflect. And if we don't have, let's try to develop, because it takes time. It is not going to happen tomorrow. It's not like buying potatoes. Hey, here is $5. I want a bag of potatoes. It's not as simple, right? It's a lot of investment in that relationship, right? So unfortunate are those. So are we fortunate? That's something to reflect, right? Do we have access to worthy advice? Now, if the first loop is yes, are we more unfortunate are those who have access, but they care nothing, like the examples we discussed. They have access. There are devotees there to help. His Grace Mahatma Prabhu says that when they joined ISKCON 50 years back, and Prabhupada was traveling all over the globe, and there were no WhatsApp and Facebook and this, that, like how difficult it is to access? Very hard, is it not? The maturest devotee in ISKCON at that time was just maybe like 2-3 years. Like, now can we imagine, like, how do we feel after 2-3 years in bhakti? I mean, after 10 years, 20 years, we feel I am still struggling with so many of my anarthas. And at that time, 2-3 years, and consider. And he says, now the next generation or the following generations do have a lot of access, but unfortunately, they do not reach out. Actually, what I think and what even His Grace Mahatma Prabhu and many others have also shared, that we feel, Arey, if I go to that person, he's so busy, this, that, he has tons of things to do. But actually, genuine gurus, genuine well-wishers, they are available more than what we think they are available. I mean, they are very busy, no doubt they are busy. But am I reaching out? Or am I just assuming that they're busy and they're not going to help me? And I have experienced when I have reached out, the problem is on my side, that I have not reached out enough. The moment I reach out, I have received that. It is my personal realization. So a humble thought to reflect upon, to have those. We don't need to have 20 of those. This is going to cause problem also. If you have 20 people who are like closely taking advice, this is going to cause a lot of havoc in your life, right? We don't want, because this is like very personal thing. Who killed Kamsa? There is one answer, right? But what should I do in my life in this specific situation? It will depend on a lot of factors, right? For those situations, I mean, technical questions we can ask any devotee. In the Bhagavatam class or anywhere we meet, we'll find the answer. Who killed Kamsa? There's one answer, right? There'll not be like 20 answers. So, but these specific, we need to have 1, 2, that's pretty much it. More unfortunate are those who do not take good advantage of those. So let's become fortunate. Let's make the world fortunate. Let's be fortunate, and let's make more people fortunate. And one has to humbly receive the suggestions of wise people for one's own benefit, right? If we receive it humbly, we're going to strengthen that connection. Next time, they'll be more open that this person is ready and receptive. If we show the defense wall, if we show that all the qualities which a good receiver should not have, then it is going to only, not be healthy for them. They will not feel inspired. Like with Vidura, he left, right? He left, okay, he left, whatever, okay, you do what you want to do. You want to do this way, do it. Whatever you want to do it. I am out, right? Third situation, bad, good. So we covered good, good. We covered good, bad. Now this is bad and good. So the giver is bad, but the receiver is good, is genuine, is sincere. The receiver is sincere, but the giver has some evil agendas, right? Examples. Bali Maharaj and Shukracharya. Very nice. Yes?
He was finding faults on Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Yes, very nice example about that ant story. And, like, hey, you are eating too many sweets. Look at the proof. There are ants lingering around. Right? Very nice. Other thoughts? Yes, Mataji? Suruchi, yes, classic examples, right? Suruchi and Suniti, how, Suniti dealt with Dhruva and how Suruchi dealt. Very nice example. So sometimes the words of a proud person are truthful, right? There is some truth there, but the intentions are bad, like all the examples you shared, right? Shukracharya said, he's going to take everything because his intention was, hey, who will give me dakshina to me, right? If he takes everything, where will my dakshina go, right? Right? So, although the heart of someone who gives a suggestion may be mean, but a noble person, a great person tries to recognize the good. Vaishnavira Gunagrahi. Krishna sees the essence, like the not the fly mentality, but like the honeybee seeking for the good. Even let's say we have a gold ring and somehow it drops in the trash bin. What will we do? Okay, chalo, jaane do, right? 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 What will we do? We'll just frantically, where is that? We'll open all the poly bags and this and that. And the neighbor is watching. Hey, Prabhuji, neighbor is watching. Hey, hell with the neighbor. I need to find my gold ring, right? I can't let it go, right? So that's how Vaishnavas should be. Because sometimes we may be in this situation. that the person who may be giving feedback may not have good agenda, but we can be the right receiver, right? That's a choice, right? To see if there is even slightest truth in that statement. Let me take that, right? And try to work on it. I'm work in progress. Yes, Prabhu. Okay, you think I made a mistake? I'm so sorry. I apologize. I will try to do better. Thank you for bringing it up. I'm so grateful to you. And the ego bubble will suddenly collapse. Let's say if someone is coming with full force, imagine full force coming to you, 100 miles per hour. You are this, you are that. So this problem, you have this, this is not right, this is not. I'll work on it. Thank you, Prabhu, for sharing that. What will this? The bubble of food get, right? You have like put a pin in the balloon and all the air is gone. Fight, when does fight happen? When two people both are, no, I am right. How dare you say this? Right? And then he'll say 20 more things, and then you say 20. Like Shurusa and Hanuman. Shurusa opened the mouth, Hanumanji bigger. Shurusa bigger, Hanumanji bigger. Or Shurusa more, bigger mouth, Hanumanji entered the mouth, came back. Vidya dadati vinayam. Knowledge gives humility, right? The fruits laden with trees and the person laden with good qualities, they bow down, right? Humility helps to receive. Even there is slight good there, we'll be able to get that. But if we have that wall, no. He has all this negative agendas, negative ideas, maybe if there is slightest good. Like Srila Prabhupada, he was distributing, this back to Godhead papers in Delhi, around Chippiwara. When I went to India last time, I got a chance to go to Chippiwara. There's a beautiful temple. The Prabhupada spent in 1960s, good time there before going to US. So one gentleman, Prabhupada was distributing like papers, pamphlets, in the hot, scorching Delhi heat. And for some of you may have, maybe in the past, like Bhel Puri, Channa, they'd given paper in newspaper, right? Because that person who was eating chana and bhel puri, he said, hey, what are you doing, Swamiji? These people, they don't value paper. They'll just throw it here and there. You should write some book. This person was just a common, nobody in the street. But Prabhupada took that. Yes, you're right. My guru is speaking through this person. Can we imagine? Prabhupada started BTG Maxim. So this is the quality of a great soul. So many examples are here. Suruchi example, all of you know the story, right? How she was very harsh in her words, right? And Uttanpad was silent and she said, hey, you have to go and worship Lord Vishnu and take, then next life you will get birth in my womb and then you will get the right. And Dhruva, being a Kshatriya, was like, like a snake. So he was angry and crying. And then finally, Dhruva went to Suniti, but Suniti handled it very nicely, right? Suniti said, yes, there is some truth there, that the king is attached to Suruchi, right? But it all happens, So yes, if you want to worship Supreme Lord, you go to the forest and you worship. Take the good part. She said to worship Lord Vishnu, take that, right? Seek the good in every aspect, right? There is always something good about even a reversal. It helps to bring out something nice, the best in us, right? So Suruchi's intention in advising worship of Lord Vishnu was to impress her husband. Oh, I am also a pious lady. I'm talking to Dhruva, go to Vishnu. So to prove, right? Sometimes people put, image of, like this guy Gauranga Prabhu says, like they put the whole meal is of sense gratification, but they put some dhania of piety or religiousness on top, like garnish it, right? The whole meal is Indra Tripti, but to show, oh, I have my wife, my husband, my this, my that, and I have my guru also, so-called guru, right? Or I also I go once in a while to temple also, right? I mean, it's better than nothing. Slowly things may change, but the whole meal is sense gratification. right? On garnishing. So maybe here's a similar situation. She was proud. She was envious of Suniti. Her intention was not really that, she wanted to impress the husband. But Suniti never hated Suruchi. Because if we hate someone, right? Vaishnavas, they give respect to everyone, right? Aman aman dena. That's the secret to chant constantly, right? Like Yudhishthira Maharaj, seeing good in everyone, Ajata Shatru. So Suniti didn't hate Suruchi, and she helped Dhruva to bring out the best. So the humble person sees the good in the words of even the envious people without envying them, right? We discussed few examples of Prabhupada, and thus the person who gives a suggestion may not have good intentions. They may have even, evil motives, but taking the good part, like the honeybee, we can still see the suggestion in a positive light and help to bring out the best in us. The last case is the bad. Any examples here? Like both. Andhanta yatande rupagi. Like blind leading the blind, right? Any examples? Can you think? Huh? Any situation can you think of? Like they gave a feedback and how?
He was disturbed. He was silent, only one down.
Okay. But where's the feedback part? The feedback is basically something, hey, don't do this. This is going to not help you. Okay.
How about Mandara and Kaikeyi?
Mandara?
And Kaikeyi.
Manthara and Kekai. Okay. Yeah, that was a divine plot, but something in that connection we can say. Okay. Yes.
Hiranyaka's giving knowledge, philosophy
Mhm.
to others,
Okay.
but then with not intention of benefiting them.
Yes. When his brother died and he
Yeah.
was trying to console the wives of Hiranyaksha. Yeah, the body is temporary, but then why are you so attached to the body, right? Everything happens with the will of the divine. Yeah, the receiver was not so bad. Correct. You
Very
can say
innocent
that. Yeah. Yeah. Good example. But let's see now classic examples from the Bhagavatam, the Samudra Manthan, classic Leela. So the context here is the nectar has appeared, churning of ocean has happened. The Asuras have snatched the jar, the pot of nectar from
Mohinimurti.
no, Mohinimurti came a little later from the
Suras, demigods.
Dhanvantri, yes, Ayurveda in charge. So yes, so from they snatched. Now there are different asuras. Some are mightier and some are smaller. The smaller asuras are saying, "Hey, look at the demigod. They also helped us. Why don't you share nectar with them? They're giving good feedback, right? We should share that. They also helped. But what's the agenda? Hey, we can't win because these are mightier. They'll drink everything. We also want something. If we share this idea, maybe we'll get something too." So the agenda is evil, but they're plotting good story behind it, right? Is everyone following this connection? They're saying, "Hey, give to them also," right? Because like my father, I remember this. Just like in a lighter note, sometimes in India they say, "Oh, the guests have come. Please bring samosas for them." Who wants samosa? I want samosa, right? But the guests have come. "Oh, my dear wife, please bring some samosas for them. Let's get some nice preparations." Right?
Because come from the safety.
Yes.
What do you want? Are you hungry? I'll get this. What do you want? He's not putting anything on the plate. Just asking.
It's an interesting story, right? Because the smaller asuras, and what about the receiver? Stronger. Hey, hell with you, right? Who are you to tell us? Get out, right? They didn't receive it either, right? They are in their own world. So, classic example here. Another example, right? There's a story which I heard first time recently. There were two brothers, right? Sanda and Upasanda. And they had special boons. They were like one soul in two bodies. They were such thick friends, brotherhood, like, genuine love, right? That nothing could, and they had boon from Brahmadev that no one could kill them. They said, hey, Brahmaji, like that, we don't give that boon, right? So there has to be some but there, asterisk. Okay, give us the boon that we will only die if we kill each other, right? Because that's never going to happen because we have such thick friendships. It's like my best buddy, I was born with him. I can do anything for him. He can do anything for me. We cannot even rarest of our dream think of killing each other. We don't even fight, like verbal fight. What to speak of killing each other? Tathastu. So be it, right? And then they were causing a lot of havoc because now they are immortal with an asterisk, right? They're fighting, they're conquering places, conquering different people. Then the news goes to Brahmadev and says, so he makes a special lady, what was her name? Tilottama, okay, yeah. Tilottama. So Lord Brahma created a beautiful woman named Tilottama. And guess where she goes? Right where these brothers were. And the brother says, oh, look, your sister is coming. And the brother says, no, my eyes went to her first. I think she'll be your sister because I'm going to marry her. No. See, my brother, you can marry someone else. There are so many wonderful ladies in this world. Why are you wanting to marry your sister? Or they're giving good advices to each other. It's good feedback. What's the agenda? To, selfishly enjoy that Tilottama. And then the woman basically said, well, you decide whom I should marry. You are intelligent. I'll marry one of you. And guess what? They fought, the verbal argument, physical argument, and they killed each other. Bad. Classic example, right? Sanda and Upasanda. They fought over her and finally. So the materialistic people regularly disagree, compete, fight amongst themselves. Unless they are trained to satisfy God's senses, there cannot be peace in the society. Material world, so many, Prabhupada says, United Nations, this and that, so many organizations, but until we have a common purpose, common Krishna consciousness, nothing will work out, right? Because the mood is what? The mood is to selfishly enjoy. How can I get most out of this situation or most out of this person or most out of this, the desire is to selfishly enjoy myself. Who cares about the other? We see that in both the examples, we see this, right? They're giving good feedback. So a lot of policies are there, a lot of rules, but ultimately, what's the purpose? To enjoy selfishly, right? So we all know what's the best combination, right? To have good. We cannot control the other person. So in that case, we can have the good or whatever situation, but we can choose to receive good feedback, to receive in a proper, healthy way. And if we are in a situation as a parent, as a teacher, as a well-wisher, as a caretaker, any role we may have, we make sure that we are following the principles of good feedback. And we are training our children, our dependents to receive the feedback in a healthy way too, right? So there are so many stories, but in the interest of time, we'll just share some key points. Becoming a good feedback giver. So let's see, maybe I'll, before I share this, I should ask all of you. you all please tell me, what are the qualities required for the good feedback giver? Any thoughts? So let's have some discussion. You may have already read some. Right? Okay. Yes. Yes, Prabhuji.
You should have intention to help or serve.
Yes, genuine intention to help. It's typing. I don't know how it's okay. What else? Anyone else wants to share? The qualities for a good feedback giver, right? Yes?
Some humility.
Some little 10%. Humility, very nice quality.
Be qualified to give.
Qualified, yes. Don't give feedback to any Tom, Dick, Harry. It's a recipe to develop enemies, right? If you give, keep going, like don't give unsolicited advice when the person is not ready. So we should be mature. Whom to give, where to give, when to give. Very, very important. Are we the right person, first of all? Is this the right situation to give feedback? Do I have the right intentions? We should ask all this, pass through loops or like those, yes, 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 and then go to, right? Those what do you call flow diagrams, right? If all those pass through, all the loops, am I the right person? Right? Do I have the right intentions? Is this the right situation? Let's say if I have a feedback and we're in front of 25 people, who would like to receive it? No. Is this the right circumstances? Let's say even if it's one-on-one, but that person has gone through some rough phase and he's not physically, emotionally well. It's not the right situation. So it's a lot of maturity, right? Do I have the right words? And then the sandwich formula comes there, right? To genuinely appreciate, even if we are choosing, if all the yeses, then how to give the sandwich formula. The two sides, the two bread loaves represent some genuine, heartfelt gratitude. Everyone has good, right? But as a teacher, as a well-wisher, if you're giving some feedback to your student, to your dependent, your son, daughter, appreciate something good, genuinely, not just to, just cover the bread, right? But genuinely. Truthful, honesty, yes. Any other qualities can we think of? Compassion, so beautiful quality, karuna. So a lot of things, patience, right? You don't say, hey, last time I gave you feedback, you didn't work on it, right? It's okay, but I mean, they may not work, things don't change overnight, but are they trying to move in the right direction? So teacher has to be patient, careful, genuine, right? Avoid negative feelings, right? If you have negative feelings, hate the sin, not the sinner. And express that why are you sharing that, right? So, okay, next topic about the receiver. Qualities of a good feedback receiver. Submissiveness, yes. Humility, yes.
Without duplicity.
Without duplicity, right? Without duplicity, very nice. Sorry?
Open-minded.
Open-minded, yes. I live to be corrected. I'm not a perfect being. I have a lot of areas to work on. I'm grateful. Open-mindedness, yes. What else? Acceptance, yes. Don't be defensive. If we are defensive, how will we receive the good thing which is coming to us? Like the Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra examples. Anyone else? Respectful, grateful. Because if we don't have that, yes, this person is my genuine well-wisher, knowledge flows high to low, current flows high potential to low potential, everything flows high. If we don't consider them as high, this is not like like chapter 1 friendly talks are going on, Bhagavad Gita. Then Krishna smiles when Arjuna takes shelter. Krishna and the acharyas mentioned that what does that smile represent? The smile represents the focus from the friendship to the guru, right? Okay, now you are getting to, right? So Krishna has a smile. It was like a susmita. So we should not take that person for granted either. So there should be some respect, so then we can be able to, because otherwise we may take them for granted. They may walk with us, they may have prasadam with us, they may sit with us, they may treat us like friends, but we cannot take them for granted. Let's see, humility, honesty, sincerity, don't be proud, don't be self-righteous, right? I live to be corrected, that's a mood. Don't be open, as I think Prabhu shared, don't be a full pot. So let's see what else we have. I think we pretty much covered most of the things. And just to wrap up, when the feedback giver, and this is the journey we are trending to, right? Whenever we are receiving or giving, we can keep these things in mind. When the feedback giver and the feedback taker are both in the right spirit and consciousness, there is improvement. The best things come out. There is good quality of service to oneself. Our relationships will improve, our bhakti will improve, our interpersonal dynamics will improve, the community will improve, friendships will improve, and ultimately it will be all good for the humanity, right? So just to conclude today's session, we discuss about the importance of feedback, how it's so helpful and brings to unveil the blind spot and helps us to bring the best out of ourselves. It helps us to be careful, right? And see. So we are going in those terrains. I gave the example like, okay, I get angry early or quick. Because the next time I'm in the situation, I know I'm going to get angry quick. Let me just, kind of go and have a walk rather than spitting venom, right? So being aware, like it's a very healthy thing, and feedback helps us, right? And then we discuss the 4 examples, good, right? We discuss multiple stories, good, bad, bad, good, bad, good. So, and then we discuss multiple examples from the scripture, at least 1 or 2 stories each. And finally, the journey, how the qualities we can try to inculcate to receive correctly and to give correctly. And that will lead to our good and the community's good, the family's good, and that will bring us closer to Krishna. Because ultimately, all these qualities which we are saying here, if we open chapter 12 or so many places, Krishna says, one who has these qualities is very dear to me. So many places, tolerance, compassion, equality, equanimity, right? Friendship, tolerance, humility. Krishna says that devotee is very dear to me, right? And of course, we are not giving a stress management or anger management seminar that develop these qualities. Ultimately, bhakti gives all these qualities. If we are sincerely following the process of bhakti, they will naturally come, right? They will naturally come. But at the same time, we have to make a conscious attempt also to work towards those. These qualities will help us to do better sadhana. This sadhana will help us to develop better qualities. That will help us to do stronger sadhana. It's like a cyclical loop, right? And that will help us to overcome the anarthas and develop pure prema bhakti. And that's the real goal of life. So I'm very grateful to all of you for your time and your patient attention. And if there is any feedback, I am very open to receiving that. You feel free to give feedback in this environment.
Please come more.
But ultimately, it's all, just like a puppet. I'm very grateful again to all of you. And if there are any shortcomings, consider those minds. If there anything good, all belongs to our Guru Parampara. So thank you so much. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. So we can take some thoughts based on the time or whatever you say, Prabhu. I'm at your thoughts, comments, questions, realizations.
We have time.
You have time. Okay. So anyone would like to share corrections? Yes, Prabhu.
This is a topic that we don't see masses touching, but very appreciative of your thoughts putting this together with examples, very vivid examples of these explaining it. I'm sure devotees of enlivened with the examples. My appreciation to you and bringing this out, and I have heard many times through my Shiksha Guru my guru once said, just think about the time. Because I was taking more time to get initiation. He just said one word, think about the time dimension. Because they don't want to say any negative or any feedback because we are not matured enough to take the feedback.
Mm.
This is an area that is really important if you have to grow in Krishna consciousness. So it's very, very important, but at the same time, very sensitive. So you put
Yes.
together this very valuable points to give my appreciation.
Thank you, Prabhu. I must pass on to the appreciation to where it belongs. So, as I said, this is all, compiled from His Grace Gauranga Prabhu, Gauranga Darshan Prabhu's articles, who has compiled from the Bhagavatam. So, we are just pass on to our parampara. So, thank you. Anything you'll, all glories to Prabhupada. Thank you. Yeah, it's a very sensitive topic, right? But Vaishnavas are also sensitive, right? Devotional life is it's from the heart. Bhakti is from the heart, right? So we have to be sensitive, sensitive in our dealings, sensitive in our speech, sensitive in how we walk around in this world. Be careful. Thank you. Anyone else wants to share some thoughts? Yes, please, Mataji.
Prabhuji was also thinking about what is the distinction, the similarity between instruction versus feedback. Sometimes Guru Maharajas think that that person is not in a position to take my instruction. Let me give the feedback, so that that person will not go down. The other person who is receiving the feedback, he is not applying that, then it may not be good for them. So instead of giving instruction, he may choose to give feedback. So I'm just, if you could explain between when we hear from senior devotees or Guru Maharajas, so what is the instruction? What is the feedback part? So instruction, we really need to take it seriously. Of course, feedback also, but how can we distinguish that?
I mean, there is a fine line. I think sometimes the feedback could have an instruction, like, right? For example, let's say if I'm sleeping in my japa and my senior sees that and says, I just want to share that you were not so attentive in today's japa. Please be more attentive. Okay, I can take it gratefully and respectfully that thank you for, you can call it as an instruction, please be more attentive while you're chanting. I can take it. So there's a fine line, but what thought coming to my mind is that yes, sometimes the guru may not say things very directly, like one-on-one, hey, so and so Prabhu, do this. Because the disciple may not be ready. Like even Prabhupada shared so many times. One time someone asked Prabhupada, I'm thinking to get married to this lady. He was a brahmachari. What do you say, Prabhupada? Prabhupada said, okay, go ahead. Right? Because he was not ready to receive anything else. So you have to see, because otherwise he could be doing a bigger offense by not following Guru's instruction. So we have to see the time, place, situation. Practically, if a sincere person sees every instruction as for them, right? If Prabhupada is giving a purport, it's not for the masses. Yes, it is for masses, but when I'm reading it, it's for me. So a sincere person will take it that way. If one is hearing their worshipable Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru's class, it's not for they have spoken for the masses. Yes, the masses will benefit. 2 billion people may watch on YouTube, but when I'm hearing it, it is for me. They are telling, my dear so-and-so das, so-and-so dasi, I'm telling this to you. My worshipable spiritual master says, I have put everything in my classes. If you are hearing that sincerely, you're following me. Because many times we say, oh, I want to know personal instructions from Guru. But they have given everything. Are we doing all the things they have given already? If yes, then we can think about it. So if the shoe, like one time, someone approaches Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj and asks, and sometimes the And we may also have experienced that in so many classes, that the speaker is speaking and we may feel, oh, actually today's class was for me only. I have all these challenges and I need to improve on these areas, right? I mean, this is a very healthy mood and it's just how it should be. And then someone approached and said, Maharaj, you spoke these words. Was it for me? Right? Maharaj said, if the shoe fits, then take it. And that's how even Narad Muni does to Prachani Bari, right? He's sharing like an allegorical story. Oh, there was a king, he was very attached to this. And then what was that person? Prachani Bari? Prachani Bari, and says, oh, looks like my story. Yes. Because he was not ready to receive. If he were to say directly, hey Prachani Bari, do, it would have not worked. So the intelligent guru chooses different time, place, situation to help the disciple bring out the best in them. But if we are genuine, we'll find good things either in their classes or it's for me today, right? We'll find good instructions in one-to-one conversations also. Those should be certainly taken more seriously. I mean, the class also is a one-to-one thing. Japa is a one-to-one thing. Everything is a one-to-one thing for a sincere person. There may be 1,000 people or there may be 10,000 people. Like YouTube, some videos have 10,000, 10 million views. Doesn't matter, right? But if I'm hearing it, it is for me. This is the mood we should try to inculcate and it will help us. Sometimes there could be specific situations where we are not sure and they are critical because sometimes we may be in situations where it's a little hard. Like some situations are black and white, right? Or should I go for casino? Ask any devotee, they'll say, no, that's not good for you, right? There's no like gray zone. Maybe you go once in a month, right? Right? There's no like gray zone. Like if someone is going 10 times, and then the guru may say, okay, go once, right? Like if someone is smoking 10 cigarettes, they say, okay, smoke 2. But we're talking about here, like those are already practicing, for a long time. So there could be certain specific situations where it could be a little hard. How should I apply? Or we are confused, we're not sure. Then yes, we must take one-to-one guidance from someone who knows our situation. Like what is atyahara? What is prayasascha? Right? Now, this could vary in someone's life based on their work, based on their family, based on their financial situation. It's not one clear answer. Oh, you're working 9 hours, you're doing your prayasascha. You're over endeavoring, right? Age, it needs more personal. Like if someone has that question, I hope it's making sense. Like some situations may need that one-to-one guidance because someone is speaking like a class, like I'm sharing today what I'm repeating and sharing. I'm not pointing to one individual. I'm pointing to myself. That's the one individual I'm pointing to. But all of you may find something in your life which could be helpful from this discussion. Does that help, Mataji?
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Yes, Prabhu, please.
You say like don't be defensive, like when we should be defensive and when we should be defensive. For example, like in the real war, Arjuna was listening to Sri Krishna, so he was able to win the war. And on the other side, like Duryodhana and Karna, they were listening to Shakti. They were also like not defensive. So the consequence was different. Like they were able to win and they were able to. So when we have to be defensive and when we are not supposed to be defensive.
I'm just trying to understand your question better. You said Duryodhana was not defensive. He was not defensive to what the mind wanted to hear, right? If you tell an alcoholic, drink 2 bottles every day, he'll not be defensive. Yeah, maybe I can take 3 too, right?
In terms of like teaching, for example, Dronacharya. So he's teaching to like Arjuna. But while learning all the skills and all, he was never defensive.
Arjuna was not defensive.
But in the real war, he was on the opposite side. So then he was listening and not defensive to Krishna,
Mm-hmm.
and he's attacking the real teacher, wherever he learned. So for us, like, in our life, if we get that kind of situation, then when we should be defensive and when we should not be defensive.
Mm-hmm. Like, where is the limit? Like, if someone maybe
Based on the
is
feedback.
based on the feedback, if someone is saying, hey, right, let's say, someone say, hey, you are cheating, you are, you are causing problems to the temple. Hey, you cheated temple money. And like, where is should we just take it? No, there's a fine line also, right? We don't have, as Visheshika Prabhu shared that we don't have to become like a doormat either, right? Don't be a doormat either. Yes, Krishna talks about humility, Krishna talks about tolerance, Krishna talks about compassion and everything, but don't become a doormat either, right? So there's a fine line, and to understand that it may be healthy, because it all depends on situations, right? There's no like one answer. Therefore, we need a personal mentor, guide, Shiksha Guru, etc., to help us in those specific situations. Sometimes fighting could be good. Sometimes taking back could be good, right?
If we take the feedback and if we don't implement on that, is it a good thing? Like, we are just ignoring it.
It depends if it was good. Like, let's say someone gave you feedback, drive carefully. Maybe you're already driving carefully, so you said, okay, I'll be more careful, right? So you kind of respected and took it. You're not ignoring, right? You said, thank you for sharing. I'll be more careful next time. So that's not ignoring them. And if there's something good in there, you took it in a positive way, you churned it, and even someone was not sharing. So if you, first of all, if you think there's nothing good, if there's a person giving is good, then you have a discussion that can I understand it better? Can you please help me? So be more specific, etc. If the person giving is bad, then you can at least take it and try to digest. And if you find something good, take it. And if you don't find, then okay, right? Keep moving. Thank you. Yes, Prabhu.
You mentioned one point in between that about the Rashtra being neutral in a situation which was not right in speaking up. Oftentimes, we see in some sort of devotional situation or community, something is happening and we may not think it's right, but how do we know it's our position to speak up or not? And we may think, but if we think, why should I get in the middle of this?
Yeah. Very, very thoughtful question, Prabhu. Thank you. Yeah, sometimes I think everyone gets the question, right? We may feel, okay, this is not right. So should we step in? And the point is, it's a sensitive thing. So sometimes we may know only 1% of that situation, correct? But the 99% we don't know the context, right? We may not know the background. Let's say, one of my teachers gave this example, right? That, like two brahmacharis, they were best friends. They are best friends. And one of them put other slipper. They're friends, right? I mean, they have very healthy relation. And the other person, literally like with the heavy, on the back, let's give a slap. Hey, how dare you put my slippers? Now, we just saw that. What will we conclude? What will we conclude? They're fighting. Oh, he's so offensive, shouting. Oh, did a big slap on it, right? We may conclude all these things, and we may temple management look at your brahmachari. They're fighting. They're this. They're that. But they are buddies. They are like playing with each other. It's so we have to see. We may not be fully aware sometimes. Most times, actually, what we know is 1%, and 99% we may not know. So In this case, it was not that. It was not that like one after the other, the offenses were happening and he was like blinded to everything. So we can't say that this was that situation. And he raised his children. So it's not that he was like just a third person who observed and he was silent, right? So this situation was different. But in a community, sometimes, so we can reach out. We can ask in a open, submissive way, not in the mood of criticism. Hey, I saw these two brahmacharis, they kick out of, they are causing problems. They are, showing a bad example, this, that. We may jump to so many. The biggest dangerous jumping to conclusions is where Chaitanya Charan Prabhu says that. Don't jump to conclusions. Don't jump to absolute statements. So with the benefit of doubt, okay, maybe I don't know. And if you're genuine, well-wisher, honest, maybe you can ask someone. Okay, Prabhuji, are you okay? Or I hope you're not hurt. And then he'll say, no, he's my friend. We were playing. That's problem solved. Right? Right? But it could escalate if we don't have that clarification. So sometimes clarification may be required. And if we can always tell, like, for example, two kids are playing and one kid's, hurts the other person due to whatever, sometimes it happens. Now, I may not be the person to give the right feedback, right? But I can tell, I don't know them properly. I may tell the parent that, Prabhu, maybe I saw, you see what, if something needs to be done, I'm just informing you as a genuine well-wisher. I don't have any malice or any, I have a lot of respect. So I just thought to bring, and Prabhu will say, and both are fine. It was just a small thing, kids fight, kids play, nothing, no action required. You did your part by being, so in temple, there are suggestion box. I saw there's one suggestion box. If you have certain, right, and those is very good, right? Right. So if you feel something, you can suggest to whoever brought you, like your Shiksha gurus, your mentors, right? And they may help you to understand the bigger picture. Because sometimes, some decisions have to be made which may not make a lot of sense to us, right? They have to manage a lot of things which we may not be aware of, right? A lot goes in the background to run a community. It's very hard. It's not easy, right? So sometimes some decisions don't seem right to a normal person, but I mean, think about Lord Ram. People still blame him. A leader will always be blamed. If anyone wants to join leadership, right? A leader will always be blamed. Lord Ram was not spared. Who are we? If he would have sent Sita, problem. If he would have not sent, problem. Right? Jaye to kahan jaye? Right? So it's not so easy. So we have to see, am I the part of problem or am I part of solution? Always try to be part of the solution. Right? That's how we can do our best. Is that okay, bro? Okay, so I guess we can wrap up for. Oh yes, please. Yes, please.
Just recently, I attended a workshop by this Grace Kala Kanka Prabhu. So it was a very nice workshop. Yes, all these virtues, and be honest, they definitely works. But sometimes these teachers, those who are giving feedback, they have this art of asking questions. Like he gave few points by which a teacher can actually give the solution in a way so that the person who is taking the feedback, he doesn't have to just take the feedback. He will come to the solution on itself. For example, if like reflective hearing, reflective listening is one of the tools that a teacher used. Or maybe, sometimes when we become vulnerable, let's say someone wants a feedback, but if we jump onto the problem, oh, you should have done this. But rather than we becoming little vulnerable and sharing that, I have also been into this situation and that's how I worked upon it. Then he also told us ask open-ended question, never to be like yes or no type. So the solution goes in a way so that the person himself knows what is going to be the solution. Because when we give the solution right on that, oh, you should have done, they may not take it in a positive way. So I just thought of sharing it with you.
Yes, Mataji, that's a very thoughtful point. It's not just like what kind of words are we using to basically help to bring out, as we say that if person comes up with a solution themselves, they are 99% more likely to follow it. Right? For example, let's say someone will say, oh, I'm not able to get up early in the morning. That's maybe my area for improvement, right? So someone gives me feedback. Hey, Prabhu, you need to get up early at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. Brahma Muhurat is so powerful, blah, 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 blah. And a whole lecture about getting up early. But as you said, okay, how can we work towards it, right? Like hearing, understanding them, Prabhu, what are your challenges? Is there something we can discuss? What are your thoughts? How is your routine? What do you think you can do to get up early, right? Open-ended questions, as you said, not judging them, not putting like a label, hey, you're always going to be like this, right? You are lazy bum, right? Right. So we have to be sensitive. Ultimately, bhakti is all about being very, very sensitive. And of course, these things help. And of course, when we are connected through the sadhana process, Krishna will help. As Prabhupada prayed, that the right words come. So we can also pray